What is it for?
Yeah, this is going on the podcast,
Okay.
and it's also just for my enjoyment.
Okay.
And for meeting
It's
people
very
and introducing my work, and it has many. This project has
many
many.
purposes.
Yeah, this is like the 74th episode, I think.
Okay.
All right. So we have Megan. When's your birthday?
June. Well, you see, all right. Yeah, I can do it. June 30th, 1979.
At what
And
time?
2:45 p.m.
And where?
Denver, Colorado, USA.
Oh, okay. Denver. I had a partner in Denver. I lived with him for some time there. You know
Yeah.
what's really interesting?
What?
The woman that I met before you, like an hour and a half ago, was born June 15th, 1979.
Mm, that's interesting.
Yeah, right? So I'm kind of dealing with a very similar chart because guess what? She was also a Libra rising. You have literally like almost
Similar charts.
very similar. So let's get into it. Um, can you just tell me a bit about yourself? Maybe things that are happening now?
So you can see from the chart here that I'm American, born and raised, but I live in Brussels, Belgium. I've lived away from my home country for 16 years now. Here in Brussels, where I live, I am a therapist and I incorporate astrology in therapy. I don't know if you want me to talk about the other stuff with astrology now or not.
Well, I'm curious about, all right, so what's it like being in Brussels?
Brussels is a very international community. It's actually the second most international in the world. And it's very fitting for that sun in house 9 that I work with international people. I am part of the international community. So it's the kind of place where people learn languages for fun because they need it to survive. It's the kind of place where you meet people and you don't know where on the map is their country. And it's a very quirky place, honestly.
How do you like being there after a lifetime in the US? You've been away from the US for a long time now. So what's it
Yeah.
like culturally, or I don't know. Yeah, how do you feel there?
Um, um, well, I've been away from the US a long time now, and this is my third country I've lived in. I lived in first Argentina and then Spain. So this is very different than both of those places. And it reminds me of the US more than those places for reasons like it's a place where people live in houses and they drive a lot, and it's more a car based culture. Within Brussels, no, but in Belgium itself. So that's familiar.
Hmm.
But um, I think the biggest difference I could make between US and Europe, I remember when I first came here years ago, people would ask me, why do you smile so much? And I thought, well, why not? And that's a very American thing.
Actually, um, as soon as you say that, I feel your Jupiter, Mercury, Leo midheaven. Why
Okay.
do you smile so much? What? Right, to be beaming all the time in front of everyone.
That's so cool. You're right. Never
Okay.
noticed it. But
Ugh.
yeah, because I call that an American thing or call that and or a Megan thing. But now that you point this out, it is personal to me. But I do see it as a cultural thing as well. In Europe, this whole you're not special, you're nothing compared to the rest, and there's truth in that. But I grew up in this culture that you could be somebody and you could make something of your life. So that's been an interesting difference. Do you know what I mean with all that?
Yeah, and I'm also feeling the journey of assimilation to these different cultures and understanding like how do they live, how do they work, how do they eat. So there I'm feeling the Sun Cancer ninth house, like these journeys that you've had connecting with these different countries and becoming established there and learning how those people are starting to feel at home, starting to feel familiar
Right.
with their particularities.
And it's really been a quest of learning Spanish that took me away. So also that house nine with the languages. My husband is from Spain, for example. I live in a city that speaks French. So language issues is really a part of my day-to-day
Okay,
life.
that makes me think about Mercury on your midheaven as well.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay.
very mercurial.
Oh, there's something else. It's about Spanish itself
What?
because it makes me think of the fire element, the way that Spanish people talk, their culture.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, it's much more expressive, much more full body, much
Yeah.
more seen. Yeah.
True. That's right. It is.
Okay.
In my more about my day-to-day life, Emilian?
Sure, but oh, okay, you're a good presenter as well, aren't you?
Maybe.
Okay, is your therapy work also kind of like play?
Um, it's interesting you say that. The family constellations could be considered kind of playful. I do incorporate many different aspects in my work, but I would say it's kind of the full range of what I could work with a person. But the family constellations themselves could be more playful. Do you see that with the Mercury as well, or?
Exactly, because it's in Leo on the midheaven, so that feels like bringing a lot of joy, excitement, high energy, power.
Mm,
It's a little different from just doing something purely therapeutic that is very low energy and very deep. It feels like an element of like smiling.
yeah, yeah, it could. I would say that's the constellation work. And sometimes we're not smiling, okay? But we try to smile at the end. We try to find a big smile at the end, yeah.
Do you have a thriving practice? Was it hard for you to get established?
I was working as a teacher in combination with the constellation work while I trained as a psychotherapist. And so I was building my community that way. But once I got started with the therapy, honestly, I did not have to promote so much. I was prepared to do that and I was collaborating with people, and they are coming through the door. I am a somatic therapist. In my psychotherapy training is somatic based. So I work with a lot of people with nervous system regulation, trauma in the nervous system. And I see that a lot with the house 11 elements,
Yeah.
and and that's been incredibly important for my own healing. So that's what I'm doing more on a one-on-one basis, but then I'm working in the groups with the constellations or the astro constellations.
Okay. There was a few things. One of them, like your pursuit of education,
Hmm.
same time as working with the public. I'm feeling the Sun Saturn quite much.
Okay, that's interesting to see. Yeah, I I work pretty hard, I'll be honest. Okay, even before I was doing work I really like, I was giving a lot, and I knew I need to like my job. I need to really like what I'm doing. So it was wanting to live abroad and pursue language and culture that took me away, but I've been working the whole time to and in studying the whole time. I am always studying something.
Okay. That makes me think about your sun ninth house, but also about your moon, kind of all of the Mercury stuff you have going on in Gemini and Virgo, right? The two signs of study.
Mm.
And oh, that also makes me think about like studying different things all the time, like new subjects are coming up at different times.
I'm very curious. Yeah. It's kind of all in the realm of astrology or shamanism or frequency, but once in a while, maybe something with history will come in. And I go through phases. Like I'll study this a lot, then I'll lose interest and study something else, but always really studying something. Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And bringing music more and more into my life.
Mm.
And the voice,
Mm-hmm.
that's something I've been working with a lot in the past years, which is also, yeah, I see it as the Mercury, don't you?
Yeah. Can you say more? Like give an example. How do you work with it? How do you bring the music in? Under what capacity?
Well, I've always enjoyed singing, and it's always brought me a lot of joy. And I guess I think it does for anyone, but as I look at the chart here, I see the Leo, right? Um, and so some years ago, I like to go to singing circles, and there was a teacher that really inspired me, and she did do one-on-one lessons. So I started working with her, and little by little, I'm bringing in the voice, not just for my own joy, but into the constellation work, like
Uh-huh.
of needing to honor something where there's no words really. I will bring in the voice now and welcome others to sing with me. And I have a teacher right now that's teaching me more how to use my body when I sing, how to really, and that's something entirely new. So a lot, Pluto is opposing my Mercury right now. So a lot is happening there. Yeah.
Yeah. And I also feel the Jupiter very much, the teachers who are inspiring you and who are helping you to use your whole body for your voice. Again, Leo, right? The strength, the full projection, the royalty,
Yeah.
right? So authority, power, and especially in the voice, Mercury and the midheaven. And I like the Pluto. I would also point out
Yeah.
your Jupiter return.
That's
Right?
right.
Jupiter is entering Leo just now, and your return is already 2 months from today. And so, of
That's
course, it's already in because it's not an event that happens just one day, it's a development. And so that you're already bringing in the voice, right? So that tells me 2 months from today, there's going to be significant events where you start to use that work much more.
okay. That's touching.
Makes sense, right?
It does. It feels like as we talk about the chart this way, it's really fun and it's coming alive, Emilian. Yeah. That's really cool.
What? Okay. Do you live alone?
No, I'm married. I live with my husband and our little dog here, North.
Okay.
Here he
What
is.
do you guys do together?
And by the way, North sings as well. When I sing, he starts singing with me now. I can't stop him.
Uh-huh.
So, what do we like to do together? Well, we like to travel a lot. Yeah, we're always having some sort of trip coming up. We like to study our separate things and share. We both are into spiritual wellness, any kind of development work. We like to learn from each other. We like to share insights, watch documentaries. Really, we're both very mercurial, so we like to learn a lot.
Do you go to events like theater, movies,
Yeah, we'll go to
concerts?
concerts. I lead the way really with that, of what kind of I'm looking for concerts and things to go to or going to singing circles. My husband's happy to follow. He likes it, but he's more um he would be more a museum type of guy, which is good for me too, but he may even do that on his own, where I'm kind of doing more the music stuff. Um,
Mhm.
But we like the arts, yeah. You know, if there's special exhibits in town or certain areas that are good for design, to go check that out.
Okay, the design, the visuals,
Yeah.
Leo.
Hmm.
Right, the singing circles,
But
the
we are
concert. Hmm?
we're from different cultures and we enjoy learning language. So supporting each other in improving our non-native languages. Like I speak Spanish well, but I'm not a native speaker. So incorporating that into our relationship has been important.
You have a very Mercury chart, Mercury Jupiter, because basically all of your planets are either in Gemini or Virgo, and then Mercury's on the midheaven.
Yeah, it's a final depositor.
Well,
Dispositor.
kind of, right? Because the final dispositor, you wouldn't have one in the chart. Because the final would mean that they're sitting in their ruling sign. So, for example, Mercury would also be in Gemini. That would make him, I don't know what the term for this is, but he is
Oh,
dispositing many of your planets,
yeah.
4 of them, and he's on the midheaven. And so when you tell me like all these things, that's how I'm starting to shape it.
Okay.
I would really like to, I'm interested in what is the like big challenge or limitation for you frequently.
Hmm. Which one? I mean, can you be more specific?
I
Something I
don't
struggle with just in like repeated or struggles I've had in life.
like now with the work. What is the challenging part for
Hmm.
you in working?
I think it's not doing too much. It's not exhausting myself and working too much and taking on more work than I can chew. But I'm very curious. So I've got several types of work, like I have different types of work going on. And so a challenge is also managing when one area might get busy where the other one has already been busy. I see a lot of it as this Mars in Gemini, being very curious, opening a lot of doors, and I try to do them all because I stay quite committed to things I start, and yet I can stretch myself. And so I'm feeling that a lot these days. I'm not taking on new clients. Yeah, this pattern, I can even feel it when you put it up. This is one that's getting activated right now with Uranus on the Mars.
Yeah, yes. And I'm feeling the mutability in what you're describing because
Good,
you have several projects and you move between them, and sometimes you focus on this one, but where do I
but very good point. It's over adapting. That's the challenge, Emilian, that I over adapt even to things that aren't so good for me. And I know that happens now. It took years to realize it because of the mutability. Also, my moon is in a mutable sign. So I have to really let my body tell me now, okay, actually, you're exhausted. You need to do
Can you
less
give
or
me an example of a workflow?
like a workflow like challenge.
Like, how does your day go? Can you just give me some
Mhm.
visuals for this kind of taking on something and then another and then
Yes. For example, I have a regular schedule with therapy clients. Yeah. And there's some change. I like to be quite flexible for people. Sometimes I can be too flexible. And
okay,
that causes challenges for me later. But
okay,
I have a regular schedule, quite fixed with some changes each day. Then if somebody needs an astrology reading or I have a constellation workshop, it can put some pressure on what already exists. And I may work a full weekend doing my training or constellation circles, and then I start right again on Monday. So it's like, where's the break? I think this is really the Mars Saturn square.
Well, I'm feeling the Sun Saturn as well,
Mm.
somehow.
What
Okay,
aspects coming out through our conversation? Because that's not one I've ever paid much attention to, but yeah.
okay. I want to. Okay. So you just told me that sometimes you like to be very flexible for clients. And so if they need to make a schedule change, then sometimes you can be too flexible and it hurts you later. That piqued my interest. Can you give an example of that? How does that affect you later?
Well, basically, coming to therapy is also a commitment. And it's a commitment to the time that we decide to come. Things come up, I understand that. So I'm open to changing. And sometimes I myself have to change because I travel or have a conference or something. But if it's someone who gets used to changing it often, then it's like I'm chasing. It's like a moving target. And it creates more work for me, actually. So I have to really be more, this is the schedule, this is the time you decided on, this is what's available. And there is a commitment element to coming.
Okay. Do you feel the mutability?
Yeah.
That it's changing the schedule again and again. And there's the Mars, right? So in the eighth house, they're changing it and you're adapting.
Yes. Yes. And then I have to put the boundary. And you have to learn in this work, boundaries are the most important of all. So I'm getting better at putting them sooner.
Uh-huh. Okay, but whereas before you would feel like you're often getting sidetracked somehow, something is changing.
It could come that way. It was also it's also kind of in fluid motion, the mutability. Like maybe I changed this and then somebody else could use the time that was just freed.
Uh-huh.
So,
Yes.
it often happens that way. And
Okay.
I've found a flow where um I'm okay with changing and I understand people need that. And I trust that the time will be used in another way, like doing this now. But it's this regular, I need to change all the time thing that can get
Even that hour, we didn't meet the first time, right? Because of
right.
the timing and the something, something, something. So it's the same pattern that happened even here with us, right?
You're right, it is.
But there's something else that's coming up now. It's because of the Gemini and Virgo, which are Mercury signs. And that makes me think that the other part of the work is when you're working with clients,
Mhm.
it's about the language that's being used and being like a hawk on the words and the way senses and what did he say and how did they frame it and right, so this being very cautious with the language.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I love language, all right? Like my master's is in linguistics, astrology is a language, and in therapy, I do take notes so I can keep the word that they use. So it's using their exact words, not giving any room for my interpretation. But I'm always looking for what is the language that would make sense for them. Sometimes astrology is the language that makes sense. So I incorporate it more and more to therapy. I see it as the therapy of consciousness, really. And yet I could do therapy in Spanish if someone was here and couldn't speak English so well. Most of my clients are international. Many are native speakers, but I only have one American client, many from the UK or Ireland or expats, and English is the language in common. And I was an English teacher for years. That's what I was doing as I was training as a therapist. So yeah, language is a sensitivity, and I feel that it's a strength to be able to find the language that meets the person.
Yeah, that's making me think a lot about your Venus and Gemini, especially the ease and love and heartedness and affinity with which you approach the subject of language. And also just thinking about how you said, yeah, you take notes, right?
Mhm.
So that you can reflect the exact words that people are using. So there I feel the Venus and Gemini also being a perfect mirror and enjoying that work and it comes very naturally to you.
Okay. Yeah, it's nice to get that mirrored back to me.
I also have Venus and Gemini.
Do you?
Yeah, so I can relate to at least that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
I realize more and more I get a lot of Gemini clients.
Ah,
And
interesting.
I like the moon sign as a therapist. So a lot of Gemini moons, Cancer moons, Virgo moons, I can just smell it before they as soon as they start talking, I think that this is a Virgo moon. And yeah, let's see.
How are you when you go out into the world? Do you like to go into the different restaurants? Are you more particular with what you eat?
Yeah, you know what? I'm quite easy with food and very adaptable. I've even noticed with partners that I adapt to them. I had a partner
Uh-huh.
vegetarian, and I just almost became vegetarian with him, and it was fine for me. And so I'm quite adaptable. And then I reach a point like I want to choose tonight. But, my husband is the one who does most of the cooking here, and it's a relief. And I really appreciate that he does that.
Mm.
More particular than me. I would rather just do the cleaning up. And it's also because I'm very out of practice. If I was cooking every day and could put my creativity into it, then, but I'm out of practice. So when I have to think of what to make, I have to think hard.
Okay. So you're pretty random and open-minded, eating wise. Because in that even I feel, right, the mutable dominance that you have. And also that you adapt to your partners, right? You just take on whatever. And that part also makes me think, especially about you being a Libra rising with your chart ruling Venus in the eighth house,
Yeah.
Gemini.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happened with several partners where I adapt to what they eat.
Do you take care of the numbers?
You mean like the finances and things like
Yeah.
this? Not in my current relationship. No. In the past, I was more active in that. But my relationship now, my marriage, we're quite independent with certain things. We manage our individual numbers, for example.
Interesting.
It's
Mhm.
a quite Uranian relationship.
But you study together.
Yeah. Yeah, we like to study things either together or separately and then share what we learn.
Okay.
Husband used to, he didn't believe in astrology at all when I met him. And now he's telling me about it. And now he studies Kabbalah on his own, for example, and is quite passionate about it.
What
And
was that word you used? Sorry, he's what? Tavala?
Kabbalah or
Kabbalah,
Kabbalah?
Kabbalah, Kabbalah.
Kabbalah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So we like to we're if we're watching we if we watch TV, we're watching shows about spirituality or documentaries and things like this.
Oh, interesting. Okay. What did you do before you were a therapist?
I was a teacher. I was an English teacher in companies. And my first career in the US, I was in marketing research. So I did a lot of research work.
Aha,
It was quite mercurial also.
totally. But I also feel the Saturn in Virgo now coming up. Market research. In the 11th house, the market, understanding consumer behavior, being able to identify patterns, make graphs, analyze. Yeah?
That's right. And that's right. And I enjoyed that. I liked the mental stimulation of the job, but analyzing markets, analyzing the data, writing reports, pulling out the trends. Mhm.
Yes. Okay. And was it for a particular industry?
It was one of the jobs was for the home building industry. So
Okay.
there's
Sun
that.
and Cancer.
Yeah, that's interesting, isn't it? Never noticed.
Yes.
And then the other one was a consulting firm, so it was all types of industries.
All types of industries. That
Yeah,
makes me think again about the mutability because I'm looking for something safe and secure. 'Cause I did this industry. But yeah,
yeah,
when you say it's again all over the place.
it
Okay.
was all over the place. Some of the studies that I remember really enjoying were cultural, about different segments of the population, whether it was Native Americans or women or children, things like this. I enjoyed the specific when I could go in depth about a specific segment, like um, we did a study with the motorcyclists, whether they had a crotch rocket or a Harley. And that was really fascinating to like get in the head of a population that I wouldn't never know about otherwise.
Uh-huh. Okay, that makes me think about the Cancer very much. Because the Cancer is like the tribe, right? So for example, you said when it was about the natives or about the mothers or about the children, like these segments of people, how do they live? So there's like an intimate knowing of those people, how they relate to each other. That feels like the Cancer.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it was really getting to know the people, we would do focus groups and ask them specific questions to inform the advertisements made afterwards. And it was the human part that I enjoyed. It was getting to know them on an emotional level. And I enjoyed
Yeah.
writing, and I like the mental stimulation of collecting data and the trends. But in the end, the career it wasn't people oriented enough. And I knew that I've always known I was supposed to.
Yeah, I get that. See, that's the Sun in Cancer in the ninth. You like to learn about people through their personal stories, and they're teaching you through their actual lived experience, Sun Cancer 9. But when
Yeah,
you're doing it in the corporate environment, Saturn and Virgo in the 11th, you have certain expectations and documentational requirements that you have to fulfill. You're there to ask these questions in this order for this purpose so that we can market to them afterwards, right?
yeah, yeah, interesting. I wasn't as into astrology at that moment of my life, so I haven't really looked at that. So, but it's interesting to see that. That's what I enjoy about being a therapist now. I learn about the world. I learn about life from the eyes of so many different people. And they teach me about the world. They teach me about what's happening with their children, with teenagers. I don't have kids. So, you know,
Okay, do you feel more and more your Sun in Cancer in the ninth?
actually, yeah. Since I've moved away, I've seen it so much in that regard, right? That living abroad, I always was traveling. It was always what I was. I would just spend my money on clothes and traveling. Maybe that's the Libra rising right there and the sun in Cancer.
Well, when you say clothes, that also makes me think about the Mercury Jupiter on the midheaven in Leo.
Oh yeah?
Because clothes tell a story. Clothes are bright. Clothes make you stand out. Clothes make people say, wow, what are you wearing? Where'd you get that? Clothes give it energy. Yeah,
Expression.
it's
Yeah,
like the sun.
self-expression, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. Let me see. Because I think, yeah, see, you're wearing something that's a little different. And you have that big golden hair.
Yeah.
What is your relationship to clothes?
Well, if you ask my family, they would just laugh because I used to have so many clothes. I still have a lot for the kind of lifestyle I have. But in that marketing world, that job I used to have, I enjoyed getting dressed up every day. I enjoyed matching the shoes with the right pants, and I
Okay,
missed
so
it.
people knew you. Okay.
Hmm. And then I started this nomadic lifestyle and I became more and more casual. And now I work for myself, so I am quite casual in what I wear. And I'm always reminded to bring in more colors and use the accessories I have. So I have less clothes than before because I don't need to go to an office anymore, but I still love shopping for clothes. Yeah.
Do you like getting dressed up when you go out?
Less and less because I'm more casual than I used to be. But it can be fun. I love theme parties, for example. Dressing up with a theme or wearing costumes, that kind of stuff's great. I don't do it enough, but I've always
Okay.
enjoyed those kind of
For
things.
me, this is all. Sorry, go ahead.
You would see that all as the Leo Mercury?
Mercury, Jupiter, Leo in the 10th house. Yeah. I mean, think about it when you're getting dressed up to go to work and you're matching stuff, and it's like, how you appear is a big deal. People probably notice, they comment, they start to know you for being this flashy, colorful lady that's always got some new prints on. Yeah. And also that you said your family, they would say, yeah, you had so many, right? There's the Jupiter element, especially coming
Yeah.
in.
Oh yeah.
And
No, I had a lot of clothes, honestly. Huge, a big closet full. When I was a child, I played clothes store and I would organize the clothes by color and everything.
yeah, that makes me think again about like the moon Venus and the
Yeah,
mutable signs, right?
a
All the
Virgo
different,
there.
all the variety, all the variety. Makes me think about you having different tchotchkes as well, like little keychains and things.
Oh, that's interesting. I do have a nice keychain.
Did you ever collect anything? Like little things like stickers or magnets or I don't know,
Hmm.
notebooks or pens
Comes
or
from a family that collects a lot of things. My father collects things. He collects stamps and watches, and he's a Capricorn.
okay. Yes.
Um, for me, I was really into geography as a child. I loved memorizing maps and capitals and all that. I see that as the Cancer sun, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I would collect pins from the states that we would visit.
Uh-huh.
Now, if I collect anything, it would be more maybe stones from certain places that I visit that I could use in rituals, but it's not anything specific that I'm collecting now.
Okay. Yeah, there was something you just said, but I forgot. That's okay. You know the clothes thing because you said that you're not really wearing because you're more casual now. But I
Yeah,
was thinking that now the way it's transferred is first into the work that you're doing, but also into the voice, into the singing.
yeah. Yeah, that's where what I can see happening with that Pluto activating the Mercury now. Um, I've been giving more public presentations
Okay.
and the voice. Yeah, and actually daring to sing more in public.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's especially for me Aquarius, right? Because Leo is the center and Aquarius is the audience. It's all the people
Mm.
watching, the people talking, the people commenting, the people also um the people have a kind of social law that we have to follow. Everyone has to fit in. Otherwise, you look weird, you sound weird, you get outcast. That's the Aquarius, right? All of us belonging to something.
Yeah.
So there I feel that yeah, when you sing in front of I know because I also have Mercury and Leo opposite my moon in Aquarius. So singing in front of people is one of those things that's really like, whoa.
Yeah. Hmm. My husband's moon is in Aquarius, which is
Ooh,
an interesting combination for my chart. But I've come to realize that I am quite Aquarian with the IC in Aquarius, with all those planets in house 11, and Uranus is in house 1.
mm-hmm. I especially feel your 11th house in, first of all, how much you work with society, and
Yeah.
also that you have had to become accustomed to, because when you move to different countries, obviously each of them has different political processes, different applications you have to fill. It just works differently everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
even
yeah.
even the fact of like trying to get a visa, for example,
Oh, yeah.
right?
I have
Say
an
that
Irish
was-
citizen, by the way. I have two passports, and dealing with passports and documents in other countries has been a huge issue in my life.
Okay, do you see the sun Saturn from
Yeah.
the 9th to the 11th? Right, because the 11th would be the social authority. It would be like the governance structures.
Wow. Yeah.
And it's
Um,
about the documentation, Virgo, right? Because it's a Mercury sign. So having to send in applications,
yeah.
having
Sometimes
to
in
go,
the languages.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. No, it's been I could tell you some stories, my God. I have documentation of 4 countries: the US, Ireland, Spain, Belgium.
So
Yeah.
what?
It's just interesting to have, paperwork from so many countries. I'm a dual citizen of the US and Ireland. I have permanent residence in Spain, and I have at least current residence in Belgium. It's not permanent, but this is part of the EU, so I could keep living here as a European citizen.
Do you plan on moving again?
I don't know. I think I probably will at some point, but I don't know where or when that will be. But you know, I don't think I will live here the rest of my life, if I say it. Let me say it like that.
Are there things ongoing that you have to do that are kind of I don't know, like submitting documentation ongoing to the government or having to do like a complex tax process or needing to, I don't know, get a title proof for your, I don't really know the government stuff, so it's hard for me because I don't even have the language. I've never had to deal with it.
Um, you do have to fill out paperwork. This is a quite complex country when it comes to taxes and all that stuff. I try to be very organized with that so that I don't get behind on the taxes. Some people they get behind and then months later they're catching up. I can't imagine doing such a thing. I would rather, I like to keep track of the books week by week and to be quite organized with that.
Okay, that makes me think about your moon Saturn Virgo
Hmm.
being very organized with all the papers. Do you
Yeah.
have assets only in one country?
Well, mm, I think of my Neptune in house 2. So
Okay.
it's not a lot of assets, but between one country, no. Like I still have belongings in the US with my parents. I have my belongings here. So I have given in more to experience in life, experience over material things. Something I really like about European lifestyle, that it's more focused on experience. You don't live in these big houses where you can accumulate a lot of stuff. Some people do, of course, but most people live in apartments. They value vacation, they value learning, and that those are more my values too.
Hmm. What are you learning about now? What is your latest interest? What has gotten into you?
Well, I just finished an astrology class about going to the Aquarian times and adding a lot of these minor bodies to our chart reading. I did a Harari astrology class as well. And I have a lot of, in terms of astrology, I have a lot of classes I have not watched.
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, I have a ton of things that I buy and save, online classes or books. My husband says, not another book.
Uh-huh.
I just know that that book will come at the right moment. And so the next book that gets me, based on a conversation with a friend the other day, and he was asking me about my philosophy of life, and it was a hard question to answer, but he was talking about polarities and vibration, and he said, well, these are the hermetic principles. Like, oh, I guess they are. And I had this book waiting for me, and it feels like the right one.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it's a lot about the hermetic principles.
All right, look. If I fast forward 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, Venus will reach your Mercury in Leo. So basically, for the next 2 weeks, Venus is transiting your Mercury and Jupiter in Leo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So think about the title of the book.
Millennial Egyptian Wisdom, a practical guide to
Egyptian wisdom, Jupiter, right? And it's a Mercury. And now your friend has been telling you about it, Venus. And I'm ready to dive into the book. And Mercury. Sure. By the
it's
way, this is happening.
definitely,
Go ahead.
well, it's definitely a lot of Mercury showing up, right? With the Hermes and the Hermetic principles,
Yeah.
but also Thoth, the god of wisdom in Egypt, is really a symbol of Mercury, I think. So it's touching to put all that together.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
conversation has made me really appreciate that Mercury even more. And you see, even having this reading with you, or this conversation with you now, with Pluto touching Mercury. How
Yeah.
interesting.
Okay. We have a couple minutes. Let's spend 2 minutes. Try to find more things that you would give Mercury and Leo. Just see whatever memories come up for you.
Well, I have a brother who is a Leo,
Okay.
and I was the Cancer that wanted to talk about deep things very young, and he was the entertaining Leo, so he got a lot of attention.
Uh-huh. So at home he was joking and he was cool, the cool guy and play. Can you give a couple images?
Yeah, no, he would make everyone laugh, and he was talking about lighter things and bringing fun and laughter, and I wanted to talk about deep things, even as a young person. And the family opted more for the Leo. And so I had an astrologer once say, who was the one that got the attention? There you go, the Mercury Leo brother.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh. Okay. So what does that mean for you? Where are you in that? Are you not being noticed? Are you not being listened to? Are you the one that's
as a
weird? Or...
child, I felt more in the background, and would really go into my inner world. I would keep a journal my whole life. As an adult,
Okay.
I've kind of lost that, but I wrote a diary for years.
Okay, I would see that as Mercury on the midheaven as well, right? Expressing yourself all the time.
Yeah,
But at the same time, I feel that in the moon Saturn, because you're in the background, you don't feel too much in the foreground, you're being eclipsed. And I also feel that just, if we remove the moon, your sun Saturn sextile is so close. And the sun is about you being visible, being seen, being heard, being taken seriously. Right? So the sun Saturn, that you're in the
yeah.
background. And
That's
then,
really an aspect that I have not paid much attention to. So this conversation brings it more to my awareness. I've always been quite mature, responsible, getting the job done before play kind of person. But it's made me be chosen for leadership roles and that kind of thing since I was young.
but there, the leadership roles, I feel the Mercury Jupiter, right? In Leo in the midheaven.
Okay.
Does that make
And I've
sense?
given a lot of public presentations since high school. All right, now Emilian, I got to get the bell. My client's
Okay.
here.
All right.
One sec. All right. So can you tell me, like, this is for your podcast?
Yeah.
And your podcast is on
Well, I'm
what
gonna
me?
publish it and I'm gonna say, do you have just like 2 more minutes so I can give you
Yeah, I
okay.
have 2 minutes. Yeah, tell me.
Okay. Well, first, before I stop the recording, I just want to ask you kind of what are you thinking? What are you feeling?
Well, this was actually really fun. I would love to keep talking to you. Um, because I'm starting this astro constellation project, I don't share my chart publicly. It's more of a privacy issue. So that's why I was curious how much you promote this and that kind of stuff.
I don't promote it at all. I just post them and either people find them or they don't.
Okay. So I'm fine with that. But I probably knowing this, I won't advertise it to my network. It's more a privacy thing because I don't know yet how to deal with this subject.
Totally, totally. Don't worry. And I even don't have to post it. Okay, let me even stop recording now. Um,
But